Hi everybody, I'm Andy Wike and welcome back to another episode of All Pipes Considered. Doing something a little bit different today, something super special. We're going to be unveiling a brand new finish from Peterson. A brand new textured finish, the Cobble. We're going to be talking to a bunch of different people across the organization, from Sykes Wilford, our founder, to Josh Burgess, our vice president for manufacturing, all the way to some of my favorite people over in Dublin. And we're going to give you guys the inside scoop on this new finish and what makes it super special. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Sykes Wilford, and I'm here with Joshua Burgess, and we're here to talk about the origin story for the new Cobble finish.
So textured pipes are something that we put a lot of energy into in the factory in recent years. We made serious improvements to rustication. We also rebuilt the sandblasting setup at Peterson in recent years to bring our sandblast up to artisanal standards. But in the midst of that, we talked about finding a new finish that would combine the best of both of those features. And this is something that you and I in particular wanted to do for a long time.
Yes, and I think it's worth noting that as we were working through the rebuilding of Peterson sandblasting and finding a new voice for rustication in 2018, 2019, 2020, we felt like that there was room for another textured finish then, but we didn't know whether that was something we were doing with the sandblasting room or something we were doing in rustication or something else entirely. And so our starting point was there's something cool here to be done, but we didn't have a sense of what it was at that time. We were really focused on getting the nuts and bolts of those processes the way we wanted them for Peterson.
Right, but we knew we wanted something really craggy.
Yes.
And so that was the goal really in setting out to achieve this. And so we had a couple of ideas about how to pursue this. And you were pretty integral in that process. You spent some time in the sandblasting booth when we started working on this finish, and I think you actually produced the first result that we liked, and then we worked to implement that in the factory with help from the guys.
Yes. So we worked together. I mean, you and Glenn and Jonathan and the guys in the factory and I all worked together on this. I was experimenting. I don't have the technical expertise that the guys in the factory have, but I have sort of this broad base of random conversations I've had with pipe makers over the last 25 years.
And we've both seen a lot of old pipes.
Yes. Yes. Part of where we were coming from is really wanting something that evoked early 20th century English sandblasting, for example, was sort of an intellectual starting point for us. Where you intellectually start with a project like this is not necessarily where you end up,
right.
But that was definitely something that was influencing our thinking. And that influenced our thinking when we were working on just sandblasting back in 2019, 2020. And so textured finishes are something that first of all, I love textured pipes. I think textured finishes are really interesting. And as wonderful as smooth pipes are, I think that how people have achieved different textures on pipes over the last 125, 150 years is an interesting question.
Right.
So at Peterson, it's something I've developed a lot of my sort of R&D attention to over the years. So where we landed with this, after a number of failed experiments that we're not going to detail because some of them were embarrassingly bad, is a mix of rustication and sandblasting styles. But neither our rustication nor our normal rustication nor our normal sandblasting yielded the results we liked. And we did experiment some with those and did not like the results.
Right, and it required changing techniques in both the rustication station and in the sandblasting cabinet.
Yes.
We had to make modifications in how we normally do things. But the result came out exactly what we'd hoped to achieve.
I'm very, very pleased with the result.
And Cobble is a natural sort of name for this too. You think about some of those Saturday treks through Dublin and walking on the cobblestone streets, and so Cobble also sort of hearkened to that finish that we wanted to achieve.
Yes, we were struggling with the name there for a minute, and that was Glenn's suggestion, Cobble, I think, and we were all immediately in concurrence.
Hi everyone, I'm Glen Whelan, Managing Director of Peterson of Dublin. The idea for the Cobble series of pipes came from the similarities of this finish and the cobble paved streets that are synonymous throughout Ireland. The cobble streets share a uniformity in aesthetic, but it's only when you get up close to them that you see the uniqueness that has been carved through hundreds of years of history. This is the essence of what we're trying to achieve in the factory. In the early stages of the production, the pipes will all share a uniformity, but it's only after they move to the sandblasting stage of production that we will see the uniqueness be unearthed and the grain structure appear on each pipe. Using our iconic red-black stain allows us to further contrast the varying areas of grain structure on each and every bowl. Given that this is the 160th anniversary for Peterson, we felt it important to do something innovative that would represent a landmark moment for Peterson. I feel with this finish, we've absolutely achieved this. I can see future historical Peterson timelines marking this date as the year that the Cobble was first released. That is really important for us here to continue making moments for this factory's storied history.
All right, there you have it. That is an inside look into Peterson's brand new Cobble finish. So make sure to go check these out on site now. Lots of different shapes to choose from, practically the entire classic line. Really take a good look at all the pictures so you could see the really impressive grain patterns that are coming out like amidst this rusticated texture. I think that they're one of the most interesting finishes that Peterson has produced ever. And so, yeah, definitely make sure to go check them out. And thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you to everyone who contributed to the interview. And I can't wait to see you guys next time.